Fashion trends are always fun, but there are some new season trends that are a little tricky to pull off if, like me, you're over 50. So today I'm sharing 10 of the trends that you may want to reconsider. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome to my channel. Now, these videos are always controversial and that's totally fine. You don't have to agree with what I'm sharing today, but I wanted to talk about some fall fashion trends that are going to be everywhere, and I definitely think that you need to just be a little bit more cautious with them if you're a big age like me. Now, I'm 57 and I just want to look as good as I can for my age, and some of these trends just make it a little bit harder to do that. But don't worry, if you love the trends that I'm featuring in today's episode, I am going to share some simple tips and tricks to styling them and making them work for you regardless. Okay, first up, and this is probably going to be the most controversial of all, and it's not even really a trend, but a lot of the designers featured this piece in their runway shows, so they are going to be a kind of a focal piece for the season, and in some respects, they are regardless, but it's the humble cardigan. Now, don't get me wrong, I can almost hear people coming at me already in the comments. But what I do think with cardigans, they're great, they're practical, they're sensible, they're going to keep you as warm as a sweater will, but you've got that versatility of being able to wear them open and take them on and off really quickly. But the reason that they're on my list, and especially at the top of my list, is that because cardigans can skew older. And look, I love cardigans. I've got a couple that I love and wear regularly, but I do think you have to be careful as you get older wearing cardigans so that they don't make you look like a little grandma. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with looking like a grandma, but I hope you know what I mean here. Cardigans can just make you look a little bit granny-ish and a little bit potentially matronly as well. But I do think there are easy ways to get around this. And I will be wearing cardigans this fall, but it's all in how you style them. The key to wearing a cardigan well and making sure that it doesn't make you look older than your years is definitely pairing it back with something a little unexpected and a little bit more youthful. Now, I'm not suggesting that you skew the other way completely and try and look younger than your years, but certainly a cardigan is relaxed and it's very comfy and cozy. So pairing it back with something that is the opposite of that can actually elevate it and just make it look a little more modern, a little bit more fashion forward, and it's definitely less aging that way. Another way to make your cardigans look more contemporary is not necessarily teaming them with different pieces, but it's just how you style them. So instead of just wearing your cardigan as is, think about just adding a little bit of style to it. So you might cross it over at the front and tuck it into your pants or jeans. You may belt it. Just a few of those styling details do wonders for kind of just elevating it and making it look less casual and less frumpy and a little bit more put together. Now, at this point, I just wanted to say a very big thank you to the team at Manuka Honey for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Now, don't fast forward because this is super exciting for me, because Manuka Honey is actually a New Zealand honey. And if you haven't tasted Manuka Honey before, then you're in for a real treat. Not only is it delicious, it's creamy too, which makes it extra yummy. It's also jam-packed full of probiotics. It's also full of antioxidants, and they do loads of things for your health. So they support your immunity, they help with digestion, they boost your energy levels, they balance inflammation in your body. On top of that, Manuka Honey also contains antibacterial compounds that are only found in Manuka honey. Manuka also have their honey in these little sachets, which is super convenient. I keep a couple in my purse, in my gym bag. They're always good to have on the run. I don't like getting caught short, so it's nice to have these. They're a healthy little pick-me-up. So if you're looking for something simple and delicious to add to your wellness routine, I'm really excited that I can share what we do here in New Zealand to make sure that we stay looking and feeling as healthy as we possibly can. The secret of Manuka honey and all of those health-giving properties is now out. I'm also delighted to say that the team at Manuka is offering you a generous discount today to save $25 off their starter kit. Now the kit includes an 850 MGO honey. It also includes a little wooden spoon, a guidebook, and 5 of the little travel sachets for you to pop in your purse and enjoy Manuka honey on the go. So all you need to do is whip on over to manuka.com/style, and I will leave that linked below to make it easy for you to take advantage of this. But definitely click on the link, find out a little bit more of one of New Zealand's best kept secrets. It's certainly something that most New Zealand households enjoy, Manuka honey, and we use it, just eat it straight or pop it in our tea, or we just make sure that we always have some Manuka honey in our houses because of all of those good health benefits that it provides. So enjoy your own little piece of New Zealand too, but it's all linked below. But definitely take advantage of this offer because it is a goodie, and I can hand on heart swear by Manuka, it is the real deal. Okay, this next one is probably going to cause a little bit of a stir as well, because I know a lot of you really love this, and I love this trend as well. But leopard print is going to be having a huge moment this fall. Now, all animal prints are neutrals, and I do think that we should treat them as neutrals. But prints in general, I think we need to proceed with caution when we're a little bit older. The key to wearing it well is to simply proceed with a little bit of caution. Less is definitely more when it comes to any animal print. It also pays to stick with one animal print at a time rather than mixing your prints. And there will be more than, say, just leopard print available this season. There always is. When the animal print starts, it seems to just come flooding in thick and fast. So definitely try and stick to one animal print at a time. I also think teaming some of your animal prints back with vibrant colors is a little trickier as you get older. It seems to just make a huge statement as opposed to letting the animal print do all the talking. So what I do suggest is just teaming your animal prints back with, say, black, or if you were wearing some animal print pants, for instance, just teaming them back with a simple white button-down shirt. It's just making sure that you pair it back a little bit. Now, of course, if you love blasting your outfits and being loud and proud, I don't want to change you at all. I just want to offer some simple styling solutions for being able to wear these trends and not look older than your years. Now, this one may go without saying, but I am going to include it because I've seen lots and lots of low-rise jeans and pants creeping back in, and even low-rise wide leg pants and jeans and sort of barrel leg as well. And it's easy to get caught into the trap of sticking with that wider leg but going for something that's a little bit more lower rise. And I definitely think the older you get, a mid to high rise is always going to be more flattering. It also helps to elongate your legs and just create a more chic outfit. So just be a little bit more careful when you're looking at the rise of some of the jeans and pants that are happening at the moment. It's easy to get caught in the trap when you see the wide legs and you think that they're going to be that sort of mid to high rise, but many of them are dropping down and they're a lower rise, which is definitely trickier to pull off the older you get. Now, next up, I've included cropped puffers and jackets on this list. Now, in particular, there are going to be lots and lots of puffers that are very cropped this season, and certainly jackets and little bombers. Now, while I don't think that this is necessarily an absolute no-no, I do think it's a tricky trend to pull off as we get older. One, it requires a little more styling because you need to think a bit harder about the base outfit that you're starting with. And two, I think that it can, obviously it's just not practical. They're not as warm and cozy. And I think that there are easier ways to dress well in the cooler months and keep a little bit more covered. Now, I don't want to sound like a prude here because equally, if you don't have a waist to speak of and you perhaps are a little short-waisted, then a crop jacket is going to be a good piece for you because it's almost going to give the illusion of a waist that perhaps is not even there. So I'm not saying a blanket no to these crop pieces, but I do think you have to be a little bit more careful because they do require a little bit more effort when it comes to styling them. So let me know actually in the comments below, do you wear extra cropped jackets? And I think that was one of the things that I saw a lot. The crops were super cropped, so very short, which does make it harder than just kind of a crop that hits you on your waist. So let me know in the comments below whether you wear cropped jackets and outerwear or whether you just think they're too much like hard work. Now next up is puffball hemlines. Now once again there are a few options here. Now what I have seen a lot, and certainly the designers have shown a lot of shorter skirts with the really full puffball hemline, and while I think these look really pretty, they can skew very dated when you're of a certain age. So I do think you have to be really careful. The designers have also shown a lot of puff sleeves as well. So puffball hemlines on dresses with matching puff sleeves. And I do think if you're older, it's easier to get away with this trend if you're wearing the puff sleeves as opposed to wearing these puffed hemlines. Now, I'm not saying that all of the puffed hemlines are out in skirts, but certainly the shorter version, because I do tend to think that they make you look sort of girly almost. And there's just quite a juxtaposition between being an older age and dressing in something that looks extra girly. So be careful and maybe just look at the lengths. Certainly if you're wearing a puffed hem skirt and it's more of a midi length, I definitely think that that is easier to pull off. Certainly, especially if you're going to wear more of a fitted top with it, but just proceed with caution simply because they do tend to make you look very girly, and it's just a bit of a crazy juxtaposition in my mind. Now next up, and I might get some pushback on this one as well, and that is plaid. Now the reason it's on my list is because plaid is it's actually a grown-up print to start with. So if you are a little more mature, I do think you have to be careful to make sure that you don't look older than your years wearing plaid. When it comes to plaid, it's almost like the more predictable you wear it, the more aging it can be. So even teaming it with something that's perhaps a pair of sneakers or something that is a little unpredictable and a little bit more casual is going to make your plaid look less stuffy. And one of the big trends that I definitely think we need to be very careful with as we get older, and that is feathered pieces. There were a lot of skirts and dresses and shirts and even jackets that had feather trim and feather detail, and I definitely think that this is quite aging and it can skew a lot older than our years. So I do think that with feathers and feather detailing, we need to be extra cautious. As with all of these trends, it doesn't mean that it's an absolute no. It just means that we have to be careful, probably to go a little bit easier with them and pull back a little bit on what we would perhaps normally have gone for or worn when we were in our 20s. There's something really pretty about feather detail because it's really feminine. I love the texture and the way it sort of moves with you, but it can skew a little older as well. So proceed with caution, don't necessarily write it off, but it is a tricky trend to pull off. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, I'd love you to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.